Mm.
I have a green light, which usually means that I'm live. I have a green light. A green light. Hello and welcome to That Beautiful Life podcast. This is episode 185 of that Beautiful Life podcast. I don't know why I slid that. My name is Kidus Campbell, sitting here in the beautiful red in the United Kingdom. It is gray outside and damp looking, but I'm talking to beautiful Roger Bergstrom all the way in Stockholm, Sweden, and he's probably having better weather than I am. Rog, are you having better weather than I am?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it turns out to be quite good. Went up a bit early morning here and drove my wife to work.
Manly stuff.
We're getting to that into a second. But the thing is, the sun is shining, but it looked as if it might come a bit of rain later this afternoon or evening. Not sure about that, but
when you drop your missus off to work, like are you like manliness, driving her to work and stuff, and then you pull up in like her spots and stuff like that, and you're like, give me a kiss, woman, have a great day, and you drive off very manly, like, is that how it happens, or am I
exactly? No. yeah, exactly like that. I just stopped literally outside her work, and I mean really like by the pavement and everything, and she just has to put her foot down, so little foot out there on the pavement, and walk the little walk into the house.
Yeah.
Still very remembering that amazing kiss that she got from her amazing looking husband.
You just flip her over and you just lay it onto her, and then she's like, she think about it for the whole day.
Yeah, exactly.
She's supposed to be doing like principal stuff, and she's like, and someone comes in like, excuse, ma'am, this is the third time today. You sort of like just drifted off again. I was asking you about the budget. Oh right, sorry, just thinking about that kiss this morning. Magnificent.
Oh, I do wish so that was the case. After all these years, we have been living together. But I'm a realistic man, and
so like just like all the other kisses.
Sometimes I do wish that it was more like life was more like a romantic kind of shimmer comedy kind of thing. But it's not really. It's not really. That was a beautiful thing, though. Yeah, talking about the sun shining and everything, it kind of led into that. But no, it was a beautiful morning. But hence, it's not very often. It's not often that there's always a reason why I usually drive Annie to work, and that has to do. She's going into the like hair salon, whatever it's called.
So it wasn't for romantical reasons, as I thought.
It wasn't at all. It was a practical freaking family planning reason. And I gotta need the car later this afternoon. I'm getting to that in a moment when we start to talk about the week.
This is unacceptable.
Like yeah, it is, isn't it?
My romantical side is like swooning and stuff, thinking like, yeah boy, you're just like, let's do practical things. Andy, get out of the car, I have to go.
I know. It's horrible.
You're taking too long. Get your bags, woman. Don't you know I have to get somewhere? Right? Go.
Why is life like this?
Go do your nails and stuff. Ugh, like not like I care. Your hairdresser stuff. Hurry up.
Yeah. And by the way, welcome Nalu. I think
it's Nalu in the chat already.
Time, but
welcome Nalu. How are you doing? I had a banana, Nalu, and this is what happens when I have bananas. Bananas give me energy.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god! You know what's the thing
rush
is? My missus just made me a whole breakfast. Thank you, babe.
Oh, that's beautiful. So now we're gonna listen to Q eating the whole freaking podcast.
I know, right? I've got eggs. I'm gonna take a picture and send to you. You're gonna have more than what the viewers are gonna have.
The viewers and listeners have. Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna get an actual picture of this thing. So she's made me a salad with eggs. I think there's
good start.
There's some beans in the salad with tomatoes, lettuce. There's also some, what do you call these things? Sweet potato balls and bread. So by the time I finish eating this, I'm going to be swollen. I'm just saying. I don't even know. I don't even know if I'll be able to continue the podcast with you. I think I'll start and then I'll just that same thing I told you.
Yeah, it's going to be that food coma in 3.5 minutes from now, probably.
Pretty much. That's what I was about to say. The same thing that happened to me last night is gonna happen like just as soon as I finish eating.
True.
I'm gonna be there for a second and then Q, Q. Are you still there?
Exactly.
How do we end this if you're asleep?
Yeah. Okay, muffin and out. See you later. That's basically how it's gonna end. If you want to, not sure if this is gonna become a habit, but if you're gonna eat a bit now, maybe should I start to talk about my week a bit? I mean, I could
Go for it. I'm gonna mute myself while I munch.
So you can shoo a bit. Yeah, I just recommended Q to take a banana. You haven't had any breakfast, so you did that. You got some sugar rush, and now you have a beautiful breakfast in front of you. Eat some. My week has been nice, but quite intense. It's been a lot to do. I mentioned before that we are able to record music in the rehearsal studio where I'm at when it comes to the band. And I actually, once upon a time, maybe 2 years ago, brought the old MSI laptop that my youngest son used to have as a gaming computer to that place and everything. Long story short, we have been recording. We use a certain DAW, which is the music program. In that case, it was a program called Reaper. However, we decided to change that since two of my colleagues in the band are using Cubase, which is another. I do Logic Pro, but they use Cubase. So I took that computer home because the thing is, it's an old. No, it's not an old. It's Windows 10 actually, but it's not a legal version of Windows 10. Okay, so it's not possible to upgrade certain systems, especially a music program like that. So I decided to just buy a license for a Windows 10 program. Can I say this in a podcast? Okay, I just did.
So did you say you didn't buy a license? Sorry.
Yeah, I was something like that. You know, the thing though is nowadays you can buy I bought a Windows 10 Pro license for $10.
Oh, you mean from one of those websites? So I do that all the time.
Yeah. The thing though, which you got to be prepared, and I knew this, is that sometimes you might get the wrong key. So this is what happened. Yeah. It does quite often, to be honest. So what happened? What happened is that instead of the Microsoft Store, but then you have another price, right? Mm-hmm. So I did a. Yeah, I just tried to update, like simply update using the new code from like Windows Home to Windows Pro. That didn't work. Apparently, I kind of thought it wouldn't. So I did a clean slate, like started to from scratch, rebooting everything, and it didn't work still. So long story short, I contacted the support of this store, like digital store, and it showed up that the code wasn't working. Sorry, the code didn't work.
Give me my money back. Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a new one for you. Okay, so I used that, and woo, it worked. La-di-da, it worked. A few hours had passed. And then it was only Windows Home. So I wrote back and I said well, thank you, but I even though I did pay for Windows Pro. Oh, sorry, I sent the wrong code. That was actually home. Here's the Pro code for you. Well, actually, try the old one you got from the beginning. Okay, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try it, but it's not gonna work. So I tried it. It didn't work. So they sent me a new code, and eventually I got the full update. So now that's done, and now I can I will bring the laptop back to the rehearsal studio because eventually we'll start to record again. But isn't this funny though when it comes to technical stuff, especially since I've spent like the last half of the last week, like 3-4 days, to install everything on my new Mac Mini when it comes to music programs and everything. I'm like, oh my God, not more technical mumbo jumbo. But with that said, the week continues like this. This evening, I'm going to bring it back. That's why in the pre-talk, we talked about me having the car for this afternoon. And this other project that we have, 3 out of 4 members in the band, we're going to try out a guitarist for this setting. So that's why I'm going there. But before that, yesterday, as I told you, Q, I had a very active day. I went to a place that is like 3-4 kilometers away from here because I had ordered like a rental van, you might say, a little small van or a small truck. And I drove through the city to the other side of the city where the keyboard player lives, and he has been storing his amazing like Hammond organ together with the Leslie cabinet, this is like we're talking old style music here, and the beautiful sound of a Hammond organ, which is super heavy. That I can definitely. I have been lifting it before. It's heavy, very heavy. So the bass player was there as well, and we did what we could. It took some time. It was down in the basement storage and everything, but we got it up there, sweating our asses off. Drove back to the rehearsal place, which is on the south side of the city, and got it in there. Then I went back with the rental car and made everything the business and paid, and everything was all set. Went back the 3-4 kilometers back to my home, had a late lunch with my youngest son Isaac, and then we went to the gym and worked out. So I was like, at the end of the day yesterday, I was like, I felt it. I was quite tired, but it was fun. We had a good time. It was worth it, especially now when I'm not sure if you guys understand, but for us, and especially for the sound of the music that we're playing, having the roots in older like melodic heavy metal, you might say, or heavy rock, then the Hammond organ is amazing. The first time a few years ago when I played with Janne, that's his name, John, and he played the organ, I was like, I even though I've been a musician for so many years, I was almost knocked off my drum chair because the sound was absolutely amazing. It's one thing to use that kind of simulated sound via a good like plug-in in a music program. You can have like those kind of things. That's a good rehearsal thing because you don't have to lift a heavy instrument. You can just have it on a synth. But the real deal, man, that's insane. So fun stuff, good stuff. So now we are we're all set.
But I think that's the thing with a lot of things. So I think the substitutes most of the time, if not ever, really outshine the real thing. Like the real thing is usually so much better. So at the end of it all, it is what it is.
Yeah, it's what it is. But it also feels good to be able to help out a friend. I mean, this is the situation also in the band, if I include also the guitarist, Johan, which is the Capital 59 setting. But it's only me and Johan out of the 5 that actually have a driving license. So that puts us in the situation.
You guys always have to be the chauffeur.
Exactly.
I need to get somewhere, Roger. Of course. Not like I had plans today or something.
A bit like that. But again, hey, you do what you can to help friends out, and it's also a bit of a win-win situation, as said, to have that kind of instruments in the rehearsal space. With that said, I see now you're talking about a funny joke, and also I think I think this was more or less the.
Is it for me?
It was I'm just thinking before I let the kind of the initiative over to you again, because I am thinking if there was something else I wanted to mention regarding the week. I don't think so. It's been mainly about these things. So much computer stuff. I'm just happy that everything is flowing quite well now. What is it?
I get the joke. If maths are mathematical and quizzes are quizzical, what are tests?
Testimonials. No, not really.
Obviously, testimonials.
There we go. Okay, I kind of, go on. Maybe you have been eating a bit at least, so you can fill in here, and because I want to hear what you have been up to. So overall, it's been a good week, and once again, thank you guys for being here, listening to our talk here in the beautiful podcast, episode 185, and we're gonna keep moving. What about you, my friend?
For me, I haven't really been playing much. Or I should say, I haven't been playing anything that may be of interest to the cast. To the listeners at this particular point in time, because I've just been busy, and I want to say I've been busy because I've been hanging out with the boys because of the fact that are we talking about games yet? Are we talking about all week?
No, we are in weekly stuff. We're not that far, not yet. It's
my brain
okay.
jumped the script. But anyway, the point is, yeah, I'm not gonna be talking about games much in the gaming section either. I'm just gonna anyway. So the point is, me and the boys have just been hanging out. It's like the last week before they have to go back to school, so I'm just making sure to have time with them. We've been chilling, we've been doing stuff as a family, all that kind of blabby bloops and all that kind of stuff. Generally speaking, I think where I've been having a good time is on the days when it's just us and we just kick back in the afternoon and everyone's playing on their console of choice, and we're just catching up with our days and all that kind of good stuff. I've got some news that I shared with you earlier before we started, concerning some family stuff that I won't share on the podcast at this particular point in time yet. Don't worry, guys, you'll find out next week. Not well, actually, will you? No, you'll find out. You find out week after.
I don't know.
I think you find out the week after. I don't think it's next week. Yeah, you don't find out next week. You find out on the 13th. But I will share it on that date. For now, you just have to kind of wait. But generally speaking, no, it's just been great. Just hanging out with the kids, playing some video games, watching some telly, that kind of stuff. And we've had a couple days, like Xavi and I went into town to sort of like pick up a couple of things that like he needed for school. Went and got a haircut at my favorite African barbers that I assume think I'm a child because of the fact that I look youthful and I come in with Xavi all the time, so they probably assume, oh, look at these two kids coming in together to get their haircuts. Not the first time I've been assumed I'm some kid that hangs out with Xavi before, like on the occasions when I used to have to go to his school to like, deal with certain things parental. And kids will ask him who's that university student he hangs out with. So, so generally speaking, me and my university student but went with Xavi and we got our hair. So I've got a new haircut. He's got a new haircut. We both look amazing.
That's nice.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I think I had a deal with Alex where we just went into town and did some stuff. And I think did we have both the boys or just Ty with us? I think we just had Ty with us, and we went to a restaurant and just had something to eat. We had a bite. I can't remember what Xavi was doing on that day though. I honestly can't remember, to be honest. Where was he? Probably home doing something.
Well, I don't know. If you don't know, I don't know.
I honestly don't know where Xavi was, to be honest. Like, we went into town. I can't remember what our reasoning to go into town was, but I remember Alex, I, and Ty being together, sitting in this restaurant. We'd pulled the tables together. No, Xavi was there. He was with us. We pulled the tables together. It was like a Chinese restaurant. We had some chicken katsu. I had chicken katsu. Xavi had something else. Ty had some shrimp katsu, and Alex had something else. And we just ate, and it was good. Really, really good. We do like to frequent the Asian restaurants in town, though. We're quite big fans. So yeah, basically had that in the week. Can't complain. Let me talk about some video games though. So here's the thing about these video games, right? So I haven't been gaming this week, but I do. But I've been gaming with my boys, and it's just a bunch of random stuff, and I don't want to get into those games. I do want to talk about some video game news. Right? So first things first, Starfield is out today, but only if you have actually pre-ordered the game. So the game Starfield, which is easily going to be the biggest game of this month or probably the year, depending on how good it actually turns out to be. The game by Bethesda. That massive studio who some of you may know for your Skyrims and all that kind of stuff. So the game officially releases on the 6th of September, which the 6th of September will be next week Tuesday, right? Oh, sorry, next week Wednesday, the day of the podcast next week. But if you've pre-ordered it and you pre-ordered one of the special editions, like the premium edition or whatever else and so forth, you get it early. So you get early access to the game, right? Now, I'm not a big fan of this early access nonsense. Right? I think it's nonsense. And those of us with Game Pass don't get it early. We have to wait till the 6th, like homeless people. But Generally speaking, Starfield is out this week, and I am actually hyped. I haven't been hyped for a game launch in so freaking long. And the worst part is that I'm gonna have to wait a week before I can play it because I'm not paying just for the premium edition. You're looking at 99 quid. 99 quid, and they put plus 99 quid plus. I don't know what that plus means. I'm assuming there's in-game purchases or something. Or maybe there's taxes on top of it. Yeah. But what we can see about Starfield, let me just tell you guys about it. It's an 18 plus rated game, so 18 rated game. Offers in-game purchases, so you can spend money in the game. I'm looking at this on the Xbox Game Store on the PC. I don't know. Is it on Steam as well? Is Starfield on Steam? Do you know this, Raj?
Actually, I don't know. I haven't. I'm getting to that when I'm supposed to talk. No, I mean regarding
it
gaming.
Is on Steam. It is on Steam.
Yeah, it is on Steam. I just double checked also at the same moment I was saying what I said.
Yeah,
it's definitely there.
It's definitely on Steam. You can
on the 6th of yeah.
Strange to think it's cheaper on Steam. How the frack is it cheaper on Steam when it's on the Microsoft Store is Microsoft Store? Why is it more expensive on your store, Microsoft?
That's so typical. Hello.
No sense.
Yeah.
It's
By the way, what does it cost on your end? Like talking Steam.
So for Steam, the standard edition, like the standard pre-order, is 60 quid, right? 59.99. On the Xbox Store, it's actually 70. Right?
Yeah, because here, when it comes to euros, it's 69.99. So 70 euros. That's what it is on Steam.
That's the price it has for the Xbox Store. Which doesn't make, which I could get why they would try to do that because of the fact if you buy it in the Xbox app, you can play it on the Xbox and you can play it on the PC. So basically, it's like you're getting 2 copies. Yeah, but still though, I'm buying it on that if the price is that. I'll just buy it on my PC and just have it on my PC. You know, the premium pre-purchase on Steam is $85.99. This game has language options for English, French, Italian, German, Spanish, Spain Spanish, Japanese, Polish, Portuguese, and simplified Chinese. Audio options to get full audio also includes English, French, German, Spain Spanish, and Japanese. It's gonna be good. It's by Bethesda Studios and published by Bethesda Software. Of course, Bethesda is a Microsoft studio now, so let's just call a spade a spade. It's Microsoft. This game is rated M for mature. It has violence, blood, suggestive themes, strong language, and use of drugs. Minimum requirements is Windows 10. You have to have at least an AMD Ryzen 2600X or an Intel i7 6800K, which is pretty decent specs if you ask me. And we're looking at graphics. We're looking at a Radeon RX 5700 or a NVIDIA GeForce 1070 Ti. Again, pretty decent specs. Those are the minimum. Your maximum requirements, you're looking at an RX 3600X. I think that's my current processor right now. That's the Ryzen 5.
Yeah.
And an Intel i5 10600K. That's your recommended requirements with 16 gigs of RAM for both. And then you're looking at a Radeon 6800 XT. That is my graphics card. Bloody hell. I'm in the minimum requirements. It's been a while since I've been minimum requirements. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, imagine.
I feel homeless now. And then you're looking at a NVIDIA GeForce RX 2080. Just to give you guys an idea, recommended requirements are what you get at like your base. That means you can't push the game to like maximum requirements. To get the game to look like the most gorgeous screen licking beautifulness. You know? So
it's only 2 guys I know right now that can do that in my neighborhood, and that is of course my 2 sons. I'm sitting here feeling very homeless, and I'm getting to that soon when it comes to also Starfield. But it's it is what it is. I
don't know why you do this to yourself, Raj.
No, I don't know either. Yeah, I know why.
Yeah, they're dad.
I definitely know.
All you gotta do, and Isaac still lives at home. Isaac, you're grounded. For what? I don't want to hear anything about it. You're grounded. But Dad, I didn't do anything. You're grounded. Give me a PC.
Yeah, great. Saying that to a 23-year-old. Yeah, good one. By the way, I wanted to fill in also. This has nothing to do with what we just talked about, but I see the pic you sent me. That's a beautiful breakfast. Good job right there. That's a beautiful gesture from Miss AR, by the way. Hello, and everyone. I hope you're having a great day as we have gotten into the beautiful world of gaming as well here in the podcast. And I see now you mentioned also Dragon Age 4 is Limbo again. Yeah, there's a lot of game. And when it comes to languages, I mean, Polish, if we just mention Polish, I think I've seen that quite some in many games. I would say it's been quite out there for a long time in most games.
It's only started happening after I got a Polish missus. At that point in time, they knew I'd be learning Polish.
Yeah, they probably like, wait, there's something in the air here. We need to do something. Yep, we need to add one more language. Which should it be? Oh, it should be Polish.
It should be Polish. And that's what happened. So it's all on me, to be honest. Yeah. I have made this whole Polish renaissance a thing. Yeah. You know, thank me, everyone. Everyone, thank me.
Thank you, Q.
Yeah. You're welcome. That being said, for those who don't know what Starfield is, it is an RPG, a single player RPG, set in space, similar to gameplay wise would be similar to Elder Scrolls 5, Skyrim, or Fallout 4. For those who know those games, la-di-da. But for those who don't know those games, it's like you're flying around in space and shit, and you have your own ship, and you can customize it, and you can go to planets and do cool things. So yeah, if you're a big science fiction fan like I am, then this is the most coolest thing ever. If it works, if they do it right, this will be the coolest game ever, and I'm excited. That being said, I'm probably not going to have much time to play it, but
that's another story.
But I'm excited for it still. I think I really hope Bethesda, like, I'm not the biggest Bethesda fan, but when a studio does something that I'm actually looking forward to, I'm hoping they do a good job. If they don't do a good job, I'm going to be the first one to tell you this game is crap. Don't even look at it. Don't waste your money, such as life. But if it actually turns out to be good, which we'll probably find out by today because of the early access, then yeah, it's going to be amazing. So that being said, looking for the Starfield. The other thing too, excuse me, this is something that I think Nalu actually pointed out to me yesterday. Well, actually, no, Nalu didn't point it out to me. Nalu was one of the people who highlighted it to me, but someone else pointed out to me, and I think I was in another group chat and someone mentioned it. PlayStation is raising their prices for PlayStation Plus right now.
Oh, right? Are they? Okay.
So they've raised the price of PlayStation Plus. So this is not something that affects you, Roger. It doesn't affect me really because we don't use PlayStation Plus. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yeah. We're not living that homeless person life. But for those of you, exactly, PC Master Race. For those of you who live in that unfortunate, peasant
backyard kind of lifestyle.
Yes, I didn't want to have to say it, Raj, but thank you for filling in. That backyard.
Yeah, I'm in that mood today. Okay,
exactly. Let them have
Don't trigger me. Okay, don't do that. Just don't go that far. Okay. I'm sorry. I don't know what came over me.
I don't know what happened. What happened. But I don't blame you, Raj. They brought it out of you, right? They brought it out of you. I don't blame you. I blame them, right?
It's not my fault.
But these are the prices. And I think you can extrapolate the EU price or the Euro price according to Morning Tide came in and said morning while the light is on. He knows I'm that the light means I'm streaming. Anyway, that being said, he's so sweet. The EU price is going to be partial to the US price, more likely than not. So we'll just assume that. This is the price of PS Plus that people are paying now. The original price for a 1-year subscription was originally €60 or 60 US, and it would be £50. They also have a PS Plus Extra, which is some other additional subscription that you can pay for, which is £83.99 or $9.99 US/Euro, which is about, let's say, 100. Right, and then they have a PS Plus Premium, which was £100 or £119.99, so £120. These are the changes in price that they have suggested now. These are the new changes in price. Right, so for the essential, which is the starting bundle, which I believe is lame as far as I've heard from my PS Plus having friends. This essential bundle is £60 now, £60, or for the rest of the world, they're looking at 80. So it's an increase of 20 pounds or $20. For you, it's going to be 20. That's quite to jump $20 more is a significant amount. That's
huge rate.
That's next level greed. But it gets worse. It gets worse.
It gets worse.
Yes.
Okay.
So the PlayStation Plus Extra, which was originally for the rest of the world, excluding the UK, was $100 or 100 euro. Man. It's now $134.99, so $135. So it's an increase of $35. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
Got it. $35 increase. For the UK, it's an increase of I want to say about an increase of $7 or something like that. Because for the UK it works out to actually not 7. Let's say 17. Is it? I think it's 17. If I'm doing my math correct.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's a 99. Right. That's 4. Because it goes up from 83.99, so 84 quid to 100. So that's an increase of. That's an increase of 6. So it's not as bad. Actually, no, that's not 6. I'll kick it up to 90. No. I'm doing the math wrong. It's 16. So it's a $16 increase.
Okay.
For the PS Plus Premium, right, it goes up from 119 quid, so 120 quid, right, to 160.
All right, that's. Okay, so
that's an increase of
what happened
40.
Here? Have they? Is there any news around this, like explanation or
no? I don't know. They just
Sony why
on the PlayStation blog. It just says that this takes place. This increase will take place from the 6th of soon. So it's the same day Starfield comes out. But I'm like who the frack thinks this is a good? Like, are people making that much more money now? Like, where we've just gotten richer?
No, absolutely not. No. And as you said, nothing added to the service. I think that's kind of interesting. That's why I asked, because I didn't know about this. In one way, I don't care that much because I'm not using the service. But on the other hand, I feel for the guys doing so. I mean, this is it's one thing if you're talking like $3-4 or euros, whatever have you. But this is a huge one. That's why I'm asking if Sony has been saying something that like might get.
I think they're on some.
Why?
I think Sony has been
earning more money. I get that, but you got to come up with something. It should be a bit of give and take, I believe. So if they would have added something to the service, something good that could kind of justify that big change when it comes to the price, I could understand it a bit more. But now I don't know.
I think they're they've been on a strong anti-consumer sort of drive for a while now.
Yeah, okay.
I think a lot of the decision making they've been making since Sony moved their head office to the US,
right, has
been quite anti-consumer. It has not been, let's see what we can do to make the consumers have a better experience with our products.
Yeah, it
has been, how can we make more money? And you see this a lot, and I think my missus can attest to this. She worked at a company before, and as soon as that company got taken over by a US company, the whole culture in the company changed.
Yeah.
It's completely different. And that's the thing that happens. I find when you look at the culture of how people in the US work, it's like it's work till you drop. You work to support these big companies. That's the reason you exist. Whereas in the rest of the world, it may not be like that. I'm not saying it is, but it may not. For most other countries, it's possibly not that the same. And that culture, that work culture of work till you drop, they pass it on to everywhere else. Why raise the prices that high? I mean, I could understand. Netflix has raised their prices, and if they raise it by $1 or something, people complain. You tell me you're raising PS Plus by 10, by 10s or 20s or $30 more, $40? Nah, man, it's robbing people.
Again, I didn't know about this, but that was some news, and also now it's mentioned in PlayStation Portal too. I mean, I guess we could go on and discuss this for some time, but I also think we need to move on. I also need to get into
we can talk about the Portal another time. Raj, go for it.
Sure.
Let me finish eating my beautiful salad.
Exactly. Go go with the salmon. But it's interesting news. Again, didn't know about this. So you talked about Starfield, and I just going to fill in, being feeling that bit of a homeless person, as you said, when it comes to my system. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to run Starfield on my low-end PC at the moment or mid-end PC. It's hard to say, depending on the game, and if we're talking CPU or GPU demanding stuff like that. I have been a bit of a wizard though, with some help also from my older sons here, when it comes to finding good settings with games I thought I wouldn't be able to play, and even so I've been able to. One of those, or not really, now that's not the best of examples, but one game that I have been playing now, that I want to talk about, is the new Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon. For those of you that don't know really what Armored Core is, it's a mech kind of FPS game, and it's made from the developers behind the Soul games like Dark Souls and so forth, From Software. That's the developer. Also, when it comes to publishers, but we have to add Bandai Namco into the equation here when it comes to being publishers. And I also want to say thank you to Bandai Namco for sending me the code so I could play the game, and I am doing a review, you might say, as we're speaking, and I will focus, the main focus on a game like this is the campaign, even though they do have a multiplayer that's gonna get added later. You have to play quite some to be able to play the multiplayer. I'm not sure if it's, that's different opinions about that. But the game then, this is the sixth installment apparently in the series, and I have only played one game before. That was quite some time ago. That was one of the early ones. And I'm not per se like a mech kind of robot favorite kind of gamer, although as I've talked about games such as Gundam Evolution, for example, which is about to be sunset later this year. I've talked about that. But I have to say, I'm impressed what they have done with this game. And again, I mentioned the Souls games. And of course, this is sometimes very challenging to play, and it can also be a challenge on your system, talking about specs and everything. Although I was able to, and this is a kind of good and positive thing to see, that they have been able to do a good PC port. It plays well. It's quite well optimized. I think though I have to look into what happens though in the menu when I'm trying to, due to this quite in-depth system of armory when it comes to new weapons and whatever have you around your AC, as they are called. It's quite a lot to find out, and I think the most important thing to say about a game like this, also referring a bit back to the Soul series, is that you got to be patient, because you will die quite some, especially when you get to the end of certain levels, and we're talking the boss fights. I know a lot of people almost raged already when they met the first boss. I also died, but I found out, and that's a small tip, getting into close quarter combat with this guy, and melee foremost than anything. But the cool thing later on into the game is that you get like money to do the missions, you might say, simply explained, and for that you can upgrade and buy more weapons, but you always have to check your stats, because you might go into more heavy kind of AC, meaning becoming more like a tank, or you like to move swiftly and therefore put less, how do we say, more lightweight kind of weapons and stuff on your AC. So it's a beautiful looking game as well. And even though I'm playing on lower settings, it looks good. It plays definitely A-okay for me. I have decent frames and everything. And if you check out on Steam, it was released, by the way, on the 25th of August, so quite recently. It has very positive reviews. Even though this is a bit of a smaller kind of genre within the broader like FPS genre perspective, I do think that this game has most likely blown some life into the series that has been a bit lost or forgotten almost for some people at least. So I haven't finished the game yet. I think Isaac just finished it yesterday. I heard him actually not raging, but being quite concerned when it comes to the boss at the end there. But I think again, as I said, the challenge here, in combination with, as I said, having patience, is to start to find out what is the best build here for this specific boss and this level. And I find that kind of amusing. And of course, there are features in the game that goes or is recognizable for more modern FPS gamers, such as the possibility to heal. You have 3 heals. They can end up pretty quickly when you're meeting these harder bosses later in the game. But that wasn't a thing before, I believe, for example. Happily for you is, of course, if good for you is if you're able to reach that checkpoint before actually dying, so you don't have to redo the level. You know how that goes. I'm referring again to the kind of ID Software. No, sorry, From Software when it comes to doing.
You said you know how that goes as if I was listening to you. I honestly left the room for a second.
Why?
So so I muted my mic, so you guys didn't hear this, right?
Yeah.
I was muting my mic to eat, and then all of a sudden, at some point, all I can hear is bam. So I'm like, what the hell is just happening? So I look out the office door, and there's Alex standing up outside of our bedroom door, just like standing there. I'm like, what has happened? And she's like, there's a bee behind my laptop. So of course, you know, I do the manly thing. You know, I just walk in there. You know, what's up, B? How you doing? Right? And I'm looking behind the laptop and the monitor. There's nothing there. So I'm like, babe, there's no B there. You know, she's like, that's what you think. You know, and I'm like, I was like, I don't see any B. You know, I was like, it's probably left already. The window's wide open. She's like, no, it's probably still in there. So then I checked the window and it's crawling on the window trying to get out. So I just sort of like scoop it with the curtain and just let it, you know, guide it towards the window, and it flies away. And I'm like, it's left. And she's like, oh, thank you. You're my savior. And then she comes in and like slams the window shut. So the moral of this story isn't that I went in and saved her. The moral of the story is that I told her not to open her window so damn wide. She did this to herself. All right. So
there we go.
Generally speaking,
the B interrupter, yeah.
So I missed a bit of what you were saying, because she had the podcast playing on her phone while she was like
okay,
surviving.
No,
but I missed
okay,
a bit.
It's okay. Yeah, no worries. I see now you want to play AC6, and definitely I can highly recommend this game if you're into the style of the game. Of course, when it comes to these kind of mechs, that's one thing, but also the fact that this is, well, it's a game that it doesn't hold your hand, that's for sure. And quite early on, they have made some good things though, and I have to say, when it comes to kind of learning you the game, and also it starts to become a bit steeper later on, if that makes sense. And they also implement like an arena mode where you are able to, like, training, which comes now and then when you unlock certain things in the campaign, which I think is smart, because then you're also able to play during the training with certain mechs or ACs, as they are called. And I think that's nice, because then you start to realize, that's the style of playing with this one. I will remember that, because I might build something like this later on, or when needed, if that makes sense. So it has a bit of a smart kind of customization or features, I would say, furthermore, when it comes to the design overall regarding the campaign. So yeah, it is a good game. This is definitely a good game. I think it's going to be, at the end of the year, it's going to be still mostly talked about and be on, you know, players' lists of good games played during the year, maybe even for some game of the year. I'm not sure. We will see later on. Yeah, and if you like AC6, you might like Mech Warrior 5. Yeah, Mech Warrior 5. I know about that game. Cool. Thank you for mentioning. But with that, I'm gonna end my talk about Armored Core. I will continue to do, of course, play the game to the end. But I have enough hours now to make my kind of, you might say, review or whatever have you. So. Yeah, Armored Core 6, Fires of Rubicon, good game. And I'm happy now that we've gotten into the fall and we have had already some good launches. It's promising. For me, as an foremost an FPS gamer, That's nice, but also there's some other titles I'm looking forward to. And of course, I am keeping an eye on Starfield as well. I'm not sure though if I will be able to play it. I'm gonna wait though and see what happens.
Do you still have Game Pass?
Yes, for now, yes.
You probably should at least try even if
of course, yeah,
because you're already paying for the subscription. You might as well
exactly.
You know, you might as well.
Yeah, of course I will. Yeah. I'll I actually was a new subscriber that wrote to me on I think it was via Steam. He said that he wanted me to play it and review it, and I was like, well, I haven't really planned to do that, but maybe. I mean, sure. It looks interesting, and I can see potential of a really good game coming up. As said, it's Bethesda doing behind this game, and there's been experiences before when it comes to them.
I'm pretending like I don't remember that stuff.
Exactly. No. We should always, forget or forgive whatever, and hopefully, as you also mentioned earlier, this might be a good one. And
I don't believe in that. I don't believe we should
What?
forget anything. I don't think we should always forget. I think we should selectively
Not always,
forget
but
when
not
there's
always.
something that I'm hyped for. When everyone else is hyped for something else. No, don't forget. Be mindful of things. You know?
Okay, that was not the perspective of
That's
things
the
I was thinking
perspective that
about.
I was thinking of, you know?
Okay, fair enough. Bro. Yeah, but with that said, I think gaming session here or talk might be over. We should also talk about Telewise and stuff like that.
The show I've been watching, and this is one that it's not often that I have shows like this, but every now and then I have a show like this where I start watching it and then I can't finish it. And I'm just like, this is too painful to watch and I just need to warn you guys to save yourselves. It's a 2023 show called Hidden Strike, starring John Cena and Jackie Chan. This is a painful movie. Painful movie to watch. I only made it like halfway through the film, which the film is about 2 hours long. So I made it about 50 something minutes in. So just know I suffered a lot for you guys. This movie is bad. Like it's just not a good movie. I think
it's not a good movie. Okay,
it's not. It's like I think it's a Chinese made movie. I'll start there. And this is not indicative of it being a bad movie because this is not me saying, because it's a Chinese made movie, it is bad. I think it's a Chinese made movie trying to be like a US made movie. And that's why it's bad.
Okay.
I think a Chinese made movie that's made the Chinese way with a Chinese style, with a Chinese effect is so much better than a film that's made for I guess like a Western audience, but through a Chinese lens per se. Right? And that's what I get from this film. That's the vibe I get from it. Strangely enough, the director is not Chinese, so I'm not sure what's wrong with this film. I just think it's probably just a bad film. Then, it's a 5.3 on IMDb out of 10. It stars John Cena, as I said. It is one of, if not the worst films I've watched in a while. I will give it a 2. Because I think Jackie Chan is
wait a second. Now, Mr. Roger Bergstrom over here just woke up. I've seen that movie.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
And you hated it too.
Yeah, not hated, but I thought it was it was not a really, really good movie. Definitely not. It was not. I mean, it was one of those you can watch, but you forget it like 2 minutes after. That doesn't necessarily sometimes need to be a bad thing. Not everything has to make an amazing impression, but I have to agree. I was hoping for more, especially since I kind of like John Cena for certain things I've seen, and also, as you say, Jackie. So, there were some moments.
There are moments. There are some good moments.
Yeah.
There's one where John is meeting like his cousin or brother's friends, and he's like nicknaming them and stuff. That's really funny. That's actually the scene. I saw that scene, and that's what got me to check the film out. And Jackie's Jackie. He's still the interactions between the two of them is funny. You know, like it's got that sort of banter and so that. But like then there's just so much of the film that's just sort of stupid and makes no sense, and you're just sort of like, why? This does not, or it's just poorly just feels like poor. I think outside of them, the rest of the acting seems kind of poor as well. Like subpar, like not as good. I think these two are good. They show their acting chops.
Without them, the movie would be really, really like C movie kind of, level. And I think it's a combination. It's mainly the how do you say the script or the combination of directing and everything. That's what's lacking here.
Yeah.
Because they have it has the potential in a way, both when it comes to these two so-called stars, you might say, but it didn't really work out well.
It didn't.
Yes, Hollow Man. It's true. They've done a movie together. It's quite new, actually, and I just realized that I've also watched it. I think I talked about it. Didn't I talk about this in a podcast, or maybe I didn't? Maybe I chose another movie. I just chose another one because.
I believe you probably have, and we've probably forgotten.
No, it's okay. It's fine.
I think that's the good thing, that we sometimes we don't watch the same shows at the same time, so we can save people some heartache if that's the case.
Exactly. So sure, if you want to check them out, and as you said, I mean the banter between the two and the fun moments, even they are quite few, but even so they're there. Then sure, go ahead. I mean, it's for me, it's like something you can watch, but you can miss out on it. It's basically there. Like it doesn't really.
For me, it's like. You're gonna suffer a lot, and I don't think you need to pay yourself through. And that's the thing. Like for me, I got halfway through, and I have not had the urge to go back. Like I've just been like,
yeah.
I was watching and just thinking, I don't remember where I got to, where it was, because I'm like 50 minutes in the film, and when I got to that point, I was just like, I just want to turn this off. Like I don't want to. I'm not sure I want to see any more of this, because it doesn't make any sense. But at the same time, the production value is pretty decent, to a certain extent. It's got some nice, I guess, lighting or something like that. Some of the CGI looks like crap though. Like just look at some of the CGI.
Indeed, that is true. I agree.
It's like wow. Like there's one point where like they're driving on this big open road in a what's supposed to be like some abandoned sort of like. Wasteland kind of thing. And you're looking at the CGI around them and you're like, oh my God, you could just see it. You could taste the CGI. It's that thick.
It becomes too obvious. That's for sure.
What about you, Raj? You've watched something that I actually want to see.
Oh, yeah.
Excuse me.
Well, it's in the Star Wars universe. This is the Ahsoka mini series on Disney, and I've been watching this. I'm not sure if they've released the third episode. I've seen the two first ones. Me and Isaac has been watching them, and I didn't really know what to expect. I put the bar low, if that makes sense, for some reason. I mean, we've talked about the other series, and some of them hasn't been that great. Like Boba Fett was a bit disappointing. Obi-Wan was okay, but not like up there. I think Mandalorian, out of the former ones, was maybe the better option. But these two episodes actually did it for me. They I like them. I like it. I like them. There are certain things that refers to some animated stuff as well. If we have been watching that around the corner, and so if you have done that, great for you, because it kind of gives you an extra edge when watching this. This is the after the fall of the Galactic Empire and former Jedi Knight Ahsoka Tano investigates an emerging threat to a vulnerable galaxy. And I like it. I'm not going to talk too much what happens, of course, because if you're also going to watch, or anyone else wants to get into, I don't want to spoil. But you will get a lot of nice some recognize, if you know things about the Star Wars universe, and as mentioned also the animated things on the side here, then there will be some faces and some characters you definitely recognize, and it's nice to see them also here. It has an 8.1 on IMDb, and it's perfect. I will put it around up there. I know some people, it's always different opinions, definitely, especially when it's such a huge thing regarding this kind of character and the Star Wars universe as a whole. Some people like, oh, it's a bit too slow for me. I don't agree. I think I like when I think we've said that before. Of course, you've got to have content and acting that kind of keeps the interest up, and it has to deliver. When you have the moments of maybe longer dialogue or something like that. But you and I have said this before. That like the older style of movie making is sometimes really nice when you feel that you are getting like this, being able to know the characters a bit more, and not only being thrown to the left and right into new action scenes or whatever. So yeah, good start. I can recommend it.
Yeah. I think the thing for me as well is that when I sit down to watch a movie, I want the movie experience. If I just want a quick thing, then I'll watch a series, a weekly episode kind of thing. That I want something that I can get in quick, action to happen, boom, bang, get out. When I want to like really, really sit down and take the time, I want a proper movie. I want something that sells the characters, that builds up and so forth. And if I'm gonna watch a series that is something like sort of like an episodic movie, because some series are like episodic movies, like Game of Thrones and stuff like that, which I'm assuming Ahsoka is in the same line. Then I want that whole sort of feel of like a nice build up, with a lot of development of the characters and a lot of story and all that kind of stuff. So as you get into it, you really lose yourself in the plot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to checking out Ahsoka. I honestly have not. I haven't really watched any Star Wars material in a while. I'm a bit behind on stuff. I've been quite behind for a while now. But I do prefer the older stuff. I don't know what the newer stuff is like. I know some of the newer films haven't landed for some people. I enjoyed them to a certain extent. Maybe that's just my Star Wars nerd in me. I just appreciated things that other people didn't. That's despite the fact that I did see the some of the faults as well at the same time. But I feel like I could appreciate Ahsoka to a certain extent. I feel like I could. I feel like I will find stuff in it I probably wouldn't like, but I'll also find things I like about it, and especially if you've seen.
I think so. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And especially if you've seen the Clone Wars, like you mentioned, you alluded to the animated series. If you've seen the Clone Wars, then there's probably a lot more to appreciate from it if you've come from the Clone Wars as well. So, yeah.
There you go. Okay, my friend. How was your breakfast?
I'm still eating it, to be honest.
Yeah, you got a bit left, right? But I think we have been, we're covering the most, I think. I think we have been getting through, not the day yet, though.
I think we could just bugger off, to be honest. I think we've spoken about everything.
Yeah, exactly. No, I gotta actually just say that thanks again, as always, for those of you that are popping into the stream, but also you guys listening afterwards when it comes to this beautiful, I hope it was beautiful podcast. That beautiful podcast, episode 185. And I gonna now go and start the day. And I just want to wish you guys the same. Have a good day and a good week. And hopefully we'll chat and talk a bit in a week from now. So with that said, stay healthy and muffin and out.
Beautiful as always. Yeah, I'm still eating. I've got a bit more eggs and salad.
I'm still eating. Da, 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 da. That's another.
And my missus brought me a glass of water per my request. I did request that water. It wasn't like anything, because I'm eating all this stuff. I need something to like wash it down with. So there's that. But generally speaking, again, just to reiterate what you said, thanks for everyone who popped in for the podcast. Appreciate you guys a lot. I don't know Hollow Man, but that feels like a newer name in the sense of like I don't remember that person commenting before. So thank you for popping in live, Hollow Man. We appreciate you. And everyone else who's regularly here, Nalu, Miss Yao, and everyone else who's usually here. Those of you who are in the chat and those who were just listening and not really chatting but dropped a like anyway. We appreciate you guys a lot. And generally speaking, those of you listening in the future, hello, how are you? We appreciate you too. La-di-da. La-di-da. So with that, thank you very much for listening to this episode of That Beautiful Life podcast. As always, many beautiful people like subscribe to this podcast on Castbox, Acast, Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Binge, and elsewhere. And I forgot something. You can find Roger pretty much everywhere at the number 42 SPLASH, SPLASH. He streams on a Tuesday and a Sunday. That is correct.
Correcto.
You can find me at LP Garden, you, and at Simply Binge, or at Simply Binge UK, pretty much everywhere else. And as always, as I said, we wouldn't like to get dismissed on any of the episodes of That Beautiful Life podcast. Many people like subscribe to this podcast on Castbox, Acast, Spotify, iTunes. Excuse me, YouTube, simplybinge.com, Google Podcasts, and elsewhere. And we're so confident you're going to like it that we're giving it for free. So as always, guys, this has been queued for your pleasure. And it's a wrap. That is the episode. Hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful Thursday. I'm going to go finish my food and check and see what the rest of the house is doing. Peace.